Hello, this is my Sustainable Development Goal 1 with a focus on ending poverty in Ireland presentation. Okay, to start, what is SDG1? So, Sustainable Development Goal 1, or SDG1, focuses on the goal to end poverty. Poverty looks different all across the world and is present in the richest and the poorest of countries. The level of poverty is often measured by something called a poverty line. In other words, this is the border of how much someone has to be living off a day to be considered in poverty in a given country. For example, someone in the US is considered in poverty if they are living on less than $27 a day. That stat given by our World End data. Poverty comes with a variety of negative impacts, which can include limited access to food, proper housing, education, and overall health. So, with a focus on Ireland, I've presented some data here. The international poverty line, as defined by the World Bank, is set at a living for $3 or less per day. With this, we can compare poverty levels between countries. Ireland and the United States are compared in the graph to the right. With some variation, the percent of the population living in extreme poverty in Ireland is substantially less than that of the United States. In 2023, less than 0.1% of Ireland's population was below the international poverty line. In the United States, 1.2% of the population was living below this line for the same year. And you can see this with Ireland being in the red and the United States in the blue. You can see there is some variation there. And some dips and trends are consistent through both, but overall Ireland has maintained a very low percentage of severe poverty for their country, which is very good. Here's my X-line chart with some goals for Ireland to end poverty. So starting off in the top right, I got target vulnerable groups. I think Ireland can benefit focusing on poverty in children and learn ways to combat trends at a young age. They can also focus on households with one adult / single families to learn ways to benefit them. And then going down, government policies is another way which can end poverty and help those in need. Increase focus on welfare distribution to households in need, and bring focus to wages and making the country an affordable place for people surviving on minimum wage. And now shifting our focus over to the left, we got two more categories which I feel are beneficial. It's education and employment, which could be spread awareness of affordable education methods across all communities. And also offer free training programs so people can gain the experience necessary in the job market. These could be incredibly beneficial because a lot of people in poverty stems from the lack of education and the lack of the means necessary to obtain a job. Sometimes all it takes is a little push for these people to get what they need. Now, finally, affordable housing, which affects everybody across the world. But in Ireland, we can focus on increased efforts for widespread affordable housing and focus on producing more public and social housing alternatives for those in need. Now, here's some solutions, which I'm going to elaborate on this X-line chart. So while Ireland does have a low percent of its population currently experiencing poverty, efforts to reduce this percentage are beneficial and crucial to making the country a better place. As referenced on the X-line chart, there are multiple categories which can be improved upon that would help reach the Sustainable Development Goal of ending poverty. Targeting vulnerable groups, implementing government policies, and offering affordable housing methods, as well as continuing to spread education and training to all, are some categories that would be immensely beneficial to these efforts. Now, solutions continued. Specific focus on solutions is necessary for reaching SDG1. I recommend for Ireland to target their low-income families and those struggling with one-parent households. Poverty can hit those with children especially hard, and bringing focus to these households could help many put food on the table. Another focus I believe deserves priority is government policies. These can have immense impact on multiple standards that are impacting poverty. Some examples include distribution of welfare, increases in wages, and government-funded public housing methods. And now here are some citations that were very useful for me in my research. Big help was the Our World in Data, which do these sources come from. And this article at the top is very helpful, and then with some efforts that Ireland is currently doing in this middle citation. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope a little bit more educated on SDG1 in Ireland.